Well, we don't see much Southeast Missouri football, so tell us about Drew.
Speak for yourself.
So Drew is a 3-year starter down there at Southeast Missouri State. He's originally from Southeast Missouri as well. So he's a local kid, went under-recruited throughout the high school process, kind of stepped in, learned a little bit, played a little bit as a freshman, but over his career, he's had over 34 starts. He's played in 44 games. This is a very experienced offensive tackle. He played exclusively on the left side while he was playing for Southeast Missouri State.
Does he project to be at this level left tackle, or is he similar to like Austin, who played it in college, but will probably end up in the interior?
I think that's one of the things that attracted us is the fact that he's athletic enough to play left, but he's also got the versatility to kick inside if we see fit. You know, that's really, I think, a better question for Coach Campen, just to see how, you know, to get the best 5 out there or to build depth or wherever he kind of fits in. But that's one of the positives from us getting a guy like Drew, is because he does have that athleticism and he does have that intelligence where he can play multiple positions.
Why do you suppose, this is a broad question, but a lot of offensive linemen don't necessarily have to come from big schools or even go in the first couple rounds. So what is the key to finding those guys who will contribute small school later rounds?
I think you got to look for the traits and how he does versus his level of competition. I know that guys can be classified as developmental or NFL ready. With Drew, we saw really athletic feet. We saw strength at the point of attack. We saw toughness. We saw aggressive nature. All the things that you look for at this level. Now, with any rookie coming in, doesn't matter where you play, there's going to be an adjustment period. You know, he's going to have to learn our offense. He's going to have to learn our calls. But we feel that given the chance, given the NFL coaching, he can develop, and he has quite a bit of upside in our minds.
You touched on it a little bit, but how do you forecast a guy that spent so much time at left tackle and then figure out, do we think he can switch somewhere else?
Well, the good thing is we've seen him work out personally twice. Myself went down there for his pro day, and then another one of our scouts, Glenn Cook, went down there and worked him out as well. We also had him in here on a 30 visit. So we were able to pick his brain. We were able to see how he learns. We were able to see how he could describe the protection schemes or the blocking schemes. So you get those questions answered, but then at the same time on the field, you're able to see, okay, things happen a little bit quicker inside. Does he have the foot agility to do that? Does he have the reactive quickness? Does he have the strength? And that's stuff you kind of figure out once you get him on campus and once you see him going against some of the bigger defensive tackles that he probably didn't see during his time at Southeast Missouri State.
These guys who are not invited to the combine, are there specialists on the scouting staff to zero in on those guys?
Well, you always, as a scout, it's always fun to try and find your own diamond in the rough or a guy that is under the radar. But I don't know if we spend more time on him. We spent an incredible amount of time on Drew, and we did bring him in on a 30 visit just so that we could talk to him, because we didn't get the chance to at any all-star games or any combines, just to get familiar with the person and familiar with the player at the end of the day.
Terms like Bulldog mentality and nasty streak and some of these draft guides, is that something that showed up to you?
It's really interesting because when you talk to the kid, you would never guess it. He's very mild nature. He's extremely intelligent, very personable. But once he gets on the field, you do see him flip that switch, and he is what we like to call a finisher. You know, he'll get on you, he'll drive you downfield, and then he'll try and finish you. He does. He plays with an extremely high level of toughness, and that's really encouraging to see. Just because you want 5 of those guys on the field at all times, you want your whole team to play the game not only angry, but with passion that Drew has shown just based off of the game tape that we've been able to watch.
Well, how many pro days do you have to step up and play quarterback?
We've got quite a good rotation in the Midwest to cycle between a couple of us, but it's really just depends on if there's an arm there or if...
do you know in advance, or do you just have to stay ready?
It's really just spur of the moment. It's usually for the position drills in terms of the defensive side or linebackers. There's usually if there's a receiver prospect or a tight end prospect, they usually have their own guy that'll come in and throw to them. But, every now and then at the local pro day, I'll get out there and just make sure we can get a good eval of the guys without, if we're not able to get a quarterback in there.